In 2013, Adobe spent millions on what they called unbreakable security. They wanted to stop piracy forever. It all started with something called Creative Cloud, a new subscription model they believed would stop illegal sharing. No more one-time purchases, no more sharing disks. They thought it was impenetrable. But then, 2 days later, a cracked version of the software appeared online. The millions spent on defense and cutting-edge encryption were all gone, undone by an invisible army. How? That's where our story begins. To understand how this happened, you have to think like them. Let's assume you want to break a lock. What's the simplest approach? You get the key, right? In software, that key is the serial number or license key. So when you purchase software, you're not just buying code. You're buying permission to use that code. You type in the right combination and it opens. That's how it worked in 80s. But then, the game changed. In 1998, major companies like Adobe invested millions in two powerful tools: Save Disk and Secure. These weren't just normal programs, they were digital fortresses designed to make piracy impossible. SafeDisk promised unbreakable disk access, while Secure boasted layers encryption. The developers behind them promised absolute and unbreakable protection. But promises are made to be broken. Within just 7 days, what took teams of engineers years to build was completely shattered. Guess what? Some companies even got smarter. They added USB keys called dongle. You had to plug it in to make the software run. But unfortunately, hackers found ways to trick softwares into thinking that the dongle was plugged in when it wasn't. No matter what those companies built, hackers always found a way over it. Then came DRM, Digital Rights Management. This was different because it checks you all the time and confirms that you are logged in, your account is real, and your system is approved. Think of it like a security guard that follows you around while you use the software, always watching, always checking, and never trusting you. This is how exactly Adobe's Creative Cloud works. So, when you open Photoshop, it doesn't just launch, it secretly scans your computer, your processor, your RAM, your hard drive, and then builds a digital fingerprint, which is a unique ID just for your computer. Then it sends that ID to Adobe's server and waits for a reply. If the reply is good, Photoshop opens. If not, it shuts down. Sound impossible to beat, right? No. Hackers had to stop that conversation. Using another tool called IDA Pro, they could freeze Photoshop at the exact moment it's checking your license. In this frozen state, they could see everything: the value, the keys, and all secret. Then they would make tiny changes to the code and tell Photoshop to stop checking or to always say, yes, this person paid, even when they didn't. But this is where the story gets really interesting. As this protection got really tough, those hackers started to use something called a loader. Think of it like a magician standing at the door. Every time Photoshop checks its license, the loader jumps in and changes the answer, then injects its own code into Photoshop's memory. What makes loaders so effective is they don't change any files on your computer. They only change the program while it's running in memory, which makes it almost impossible to detect. Even antivirus software cannot detect it. That's why some cracked software asks you to open a specific tool every time you use software. That tool is the loader. But Adobe didn't just given up. They found a clever way to fight back. Instead of running everything on the computer, they moved key features to the cloud. Nowadays, if you wish to use Photoshop's fill, you need Creative Cloud. Nothing is done on your computer, so cracking this would mean breaking into Adobe itself. But here's what most people don't know. Behind every cracked software is not just one genius in a hoodie. It's an entire team of organization. Like, each member has a role. One studies the code, another builds the crack, and another tests it across different computers. For them, cracking Photoshop is not about stealing, it's about their reputation and telling no lock is unbreakable. Hope you guys liked this video. See you on the next one.